Hello, I'm Mayor Jeffrey Odom with the City of New Bern. I have a couple of important guests with me today, and we're going to talk about a very important event that's going to be coming up. So if you would introduce yourselves.
I'm Gary Gillette. I'm the current president of the New Bern chapter of the Sons of the American Revolution. And to my left,
I'm Tammy Gillette. I am the current regent of the Richard Dobbs Spate chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution.
So it's obviously a very important milestone coming up. So tell us what this is all about.
what happened was 251 years ago, in 1774, 71 delegates from across North Carolina converged on New Bern in the old Craven County Courthouse, which is no longer there. And they would, the colonies at that time were just tired of the British rule. They were tired of not having any representation in Parliament. They were tired of being treated as second-class citizens. Most of that is, most people know about. Well, they decided to all come to New Bern to get together and talk, okay? Like I said, 71 delegates came to New Bern from across North Carolina. This wound up, it's called the New Bern Resolves, but it was the very first provincial congress held across all 13 colonies. The very first happened in our little town of New Bern, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
It really is. The results of that meeting, it was a 3-day meeting, August 25th through August 27th, 1774, and it resulted in 29 resolutions. Okay, these resolutions were not weren't adamantly against the British rule. They just wanted equal representation. They were tired, like I said, of being treated like second-class citizens. So they put together 29 resolutions, and I actually have a copy of them right here,
Wow.
which is really cool.
Not on the original paper, though, right?
Not on the original paper. However, back then they had no Xerox machines, of course. So they had to have a scribe that scribed all 29. These 29 resolutions, that scribe had to make a copy of those 29 and give it to all these guys that went back to their counties. So he was writing a lot.
Wow.
Most of those are gone now. This is just a copy. What we'll do, we'll have a procession or a parade starting behind the History Center and come up Metcalf Street and then make a left and come into the front lawn of the palace, or the front gates of the palace, and then go around the palace, and everything is set up on the south lawn, and at 10 o'clock sharp we'll start the ceremony. This year we actually have, as a guest speaker, we have a New Bern native, North Carolina Senator Bob Brenson will be our special guest. And by the way, he is also a member of the Sons of the American Revolution. Maybe we can get the mayor here involved in that someday.
So location, we talked about, it's going to be at Tryon Palace, and the time, 9:30 is when the procession starts. The event starts at 10 o'clock sharp, and it's going to be at Tryon Palace on the south lawn is where the event is. And what is the date?
The date is August 23rd,
Okay.
Saturday, August 23rd. I would suggest you get there a little early.
And bring a chair.
And bring a chair. The south lawn is fairly large. We'll have some chairs, but primarily for the dignitaries that are going to be there. So, but get there early, because the highlight is not just the ceremony, but it's the procession, the parade. We will have members of from across the state, and even from different states, in their colonial attire, in their military uniforms, colonial military uniforms, as well as the DAR dresses up in colonial attire. And then we'll have, there actually six of those gentlemen that came in for the First Provincial Congress were Masons. So we have the Masons involved in this. We have the Scottish Rite and the York Rite involved, all the historical organizations. are going to be part of that procession. And it is really nice.
You'll see, it's great for families because if you can see on the poster, the streets will be lined with the scouts holding flags. So it's very much an Americana feel, hometown Americana. It makes you feel really special to be able to see these scouts lined with the flags and hear the fife and drum lead the procession with the color guard with their colonial attire. So it's a very special feeling when you see that, and then to be able to take that back to the south lawn of the palace. And we understand the contradiction of the palace being what it was, but it is a very special feeling to be able to hold it there, and we do appreciate their participation with us. It's only an hour, so it's not going to be a long process back there with the ceremony, but it is something where you can learn some history, you can feel some patriotism, and recognizing, as you know, and you mentioned, America 250 is happening in 2026, so this is a great way to be able to kick off part of that celebration of America 250. And one of the things that Gary mentioned that I wanted to hit upon is he mentioned how there were people coming from all the different colonies to New Bern during that time. And they were pretty upset about paying all these extra taxes, about not having that representation. Their goods overseas were being undersold compared to European goods. So they were pretty upset, and so they brought representatives here. And when they heard, yes, we still want to be a part of Parliament, we want to be a part of the British Crown, we just want things to change, they still were very frustrated. So when you think about it, when they went home and sitting around their dinner tables, the part that women played in this was that they heard that frustration. And they also had that frustration of having to buy clothing, having to buy coffee or tea because tea was very expensive. Again, the Tea Party had already, the Boston Tea Party had already happened. So they heard this frustration. And these things that happened because of the New Bern Resolves had a trickle-down effect, and it helped these women to also, even though they didn't have a voice, they made their voice heard. And that is what they believe now inspired the Edenton Tea Party, which were the women who petitioned to not buy British goods and start a homespun movement. So it really did have a trickle-down effect from the men who met here in New Bern. The colony was very busy. This was a thriving colony. Not only were we the capital of North Carolina, but we also had the working printing press at the time. So you were getting people coming in from all over North Carolina and surrounding areas because we had access to the printing press at that point. And so they were trying to get their news out, they were trying to get news in, so there were a lot of people coming and going. And we also had the very busy port that was allowing a lot of merchants, marine merchants especially, having goods come and go. So this was a very busy place. And so they were getting this sense of there's a lot going on. We sensed that people are not happy. So if you kind of put yourself in that situation, in that time frame, you can imagine these were gentlemen who really knew something had to give, and that tension was just going to absolutely, something had to give. And that was where they were trying to keep it, where it was still somewhat reserved, and we all know that didn't work. Yeah. So we weren't the first shot heard around the world, as we all know, in Lexington and Concord, but we were the spark.
Yeah, it's amazing when you think about the printing press and how times have changed. Like when we get through with this recording, it'll be shared instantaneously. Exactly. Whereas there, they were having to wait to print it and get the news out, and times have just changed so much. But there is so much rich history here in New Bern.
Oh, it is.
Exactly.
It really is.
And
So,
people had to wait so long, as you said.
Absolutely.
They had to wait a long time to get that information. And at that point, how much of it had changed?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And
so we've been talking this morning about the New Bern Resolves 251st
Yes.
anniversary,
Yep.
which will be taking place this month. So
Yes.
share again time, place, and location.
if you're looking for information, across town, we have posters in a lot of the store window fronts. There is a QR code there that all you have to do is put your phone up against that QR code, and you'll get more information on the event. Plus, we
Wrap
have
cards are
wrap
everywhere.
cards are everywhere.
All the
Tammy has been busy delivering those across the town. And we want a big thank you to all the stores and restaurants in the community. They have been very gracious to post our window posters and put the rack cards out. So a big thank you to all those who have done that for us.
I chuckled a little bit because we're talking about the printing press and now a QR code. Can you imagine 251 years ago, a QR code with a telephone? I mean, it's just amazing.
They would not even be able to wrap their brains around that, I'm sure, because that would just be so far beyond anything. I mean, they were being taxed for stamps and playing cards, and that was part of the catalyst of.
It's probably like us with flying cars. I would have thought we would have been in flying cars by now, but we're still a ways away.
One thing that Gary didn't mention too at the end of the celebration on August 23rd, there probably will be a black powder 21 gun salute.
Okay.
Last year there was a cannon. We're not doing the cannon this year, and those are saved for big numbers for 252nd hopefully. But there should be a 21 gun salute with the black powder.
Yeah, our SAR group has a certified musket team, so we'll be doing that.
And that's for little kids and big kids alike. Love to see that. So.
Big kids love it.
We'll have to make sure that the police department is aware.
Well, they are aware.
They are very well aware.
aware.
Every I has been dotted and T's are crossed.
And we also want to thank the city for all their the services that they're providing and helping us doing this, because it doesn't happen easily by one or two people doing it. It takes an entire community to pull something like this off, and we truly appreciate all the help and support. But next year, we've waited 250 years for this, so be prepared.
We thank you all for what you do. Personally, but also the groups that you're associated with, because oftentimes history is such a rich tradition in New Bern, and we usually see your faces and your groups there representing, so we appreciate that. So as we wrap it up, just remind the public one more time, when is it going to be, where is it going to be, and how can they participate?
August 23rd from 9:30 to 11. 9:30 starts the procession behind the North Carolina History Center, and they will go into the front gate of the Tryon Palace. The ceremony starts at 10 o'clock through 11 o'clock on the south lawn of the palace. Please try to attend. Bring a chair, like we said earlier, and bring family. Everybody is welcome, and I am very confident that everybody will enjoy it. Anything else, Tammy?
I think you've covered it. It will be fun. If anyone has questions that day, find someone in colonial attire and we will try to put you in the right direction.
I will have the honor of being the MC again this year, and it is truly an honor.
That's great. Well, thank you for joining us on This Week at City Hall.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.